welcome to episode 5 of Newysports TV. I think we're up to 5. Someone counting. Monday I'm recording this on Sunday night, and Sunday is the 7th, so Monday is the 8th. The 8th of February. Welcome to Newysports TV, episode 5. A very sunburnt Ty Stebbin reporting here for Newysports. 2 long days at West Wallsend, yesterday, Saturday, and today at Toronto. Quick mathematics in my head, 29 goals at Toronto today in 4 games. Yesterday at West Wallsend there would have been a fair amount. Just 9. No one wants to see counting, right? 11 goals in the first 2 games. It's already off to a mess here. It's already off to a mess. No surprise, 13 goals. All up, 17 goals at West Wallsend yesterday. 29 today at Toronto. 46 goals in 8 games. That's quite a lot. So, that's already 46 names that I should be mentioning, right? Let's go straight into yesterday. I'm not going to do the slideshow photo thing this week. That's something that may return in the actual season. I'm going to turn this fan off because I don't know if that camera can hear me with the fan on. That's something that could return during the actual season, is the slideshow of photos. We had that last week. We had some copyright music issues, and it was a bit of a mess, really. And that video, the Imagine Dragons song, 2.5 minute video from the West Wallsend Cessnock game, that took an hour and a half, or 45 minutes, hour and a half. The 2 days combined took an hour and a half to edit, and I don't really have the time to spare to be doing that, so we're not going to have that. We're just going to go straight into reviewing the games. First grade first, let's go that way. Actually no, let's do the 17s game first. Yesterday at West Wallsend, 2-1. West Wallsend defeating Singleton Strikers. Strikers in trouble early. Brad Fairclough having to make Fairclough. Tell me if I'm pronouncing that right. This is something I was talking with people about today. The pronunciations. I can say strange foreign names, but I can't say simple names. I don't know. I'm not good with names. Singleton goalkeeper required to make some saves. Just need the team sheet here for a sec. An injury to, I'm finding out. It'd be handy to have all this stuff on hand with me, but an injury to West Wallsend's number 5, which was someone. There it is, Liam Simpson? Is that right? No, that's last week. There you go. I didn't promise it was going to be a legit thing tonight. Jared Crawford was the injured player. He came back on. First goal of the game came from West Wallsend. Nick Bull chipping the goalkeeper Fairclough. I think it's Fairclough. Getting caught out of goal. Chipped 1-0 West Wallsend. That's how it stayed at half time. A fairly even first half. Second half, number 9 for West Wallsend, showing some commitment. I don't know who that was. It says here, number 9, commitment, West Wallsend. They didn't have a number 9. So yeah, that's good. Newysports. Across goal. There's a lot of goals during these trial matches that have come across goal. You know, the striker here, goalkeeper, you know, back post. One of those was for Singleton yesterday, Corey Henderson getting the equaliser in the 17s. I thought Campbell Nunn defended well for the Strikers. Full time, right on full time, was a goal for Jared Hayter, getting the win for West Wallsend. Hamish Mayled played well for the Strikers. That was a pretty scrappy review of the game, but we move on to the 19s, and I don't know if you can you see that? That's That's a full page of info, so that's very messy writing. This game was the best game I have seen this year, and I've been going to games for 2 weeks, but even A-League games that I've been to, this has been the best game this year. This under-19s game yesterday, 5-4, West Wallsend beating Singleton. Let's go through it. Number 41, Sam Jones getting the goal under the wall, under the keeper, free kick, 1-0 West Wallsend. Not long after that, it was James Barn. It was 2-0 West Wallsend, an unlucky handball. It shouldn't have been a penalty against Singleton there. Slotted to the right of Jeremy Wild, who was then required to make a save to keep the score at 2-0. Next thing you know, bang, straight up the other end, Singleton score through their number 9, Oliver Moody. Excellent build-up play by the strikers here. It wouldn't last. West Wallsend would get one back. Matt Turner scoring that goal, 3-1. And that is, I believe that's, no, half-time, 3-3. Can't read my own writing. I'm going to have this problem a lot this year. Strikers, Trey Pradlock scoring their second goal. Really good of him backing up from the 17s. There was a few of them backing up from the 17s to the 19s. Pradlock on the score sheet there. The 15 as well, James Croucher, one of the best players all day for Singleton. 17s, 19s, and maybe first grade or 23s, one of the two. He played 3 games. Very good player there, James Croucher. And the better side, Singleton, in the first half. 3-3 at half-time. 4-3 wasn't too far off. James Barnes getting a second for West Wallsend. The substitute keeper came on. That was the 17th keeper, Josh Snedden, coming on and making a couple saves there, replacing Jake Shoesmith in goals, who backed up in the 23s. Someone should be counting how many times I say it's a lot. Singleton, number 9, missing for 4-4. That was Oliver Moody. Could have equalised. Next thing you know, it was 5-3. It was Sam Jones again. It was West Wallsend with a big lead, 5-3. Right at the end, best goal of the day and probably the best goal of the weekend, coming from Tom Golding. An excellent free kick for Singleton to make it 5-4. And what a game this was. Big praise to the Singleton coaching staff. I actually sort of listened in on their halftime team talk. They did it on the side of the ground. And the coach there, I think his name was Todd, very legit style. I think they're going to be really hard to beat this year, Singleton, in the 19s. They struggled last year, but I think there's potential, and some of these players, Tyler Felsh and Jackson Skinner, will probably be playing first grade, but the likes of Croucher and Nathan Hall, there'll be more on Nathan Hall in the next game. One of Singleton's best players all day, probably the player of the day. He did back up in the 23s. It was a win for Singleton, 3-1. First goal coming from a penalty. The number 9 scoring that one. Team sheet, Rob Field, the captain, scoring the penalty. 2-0 wasn't far away for the number 12, who's not on this list, but it was Nathan Hall, getting on the score sheet there. And while we're on that, Nathan Hall, what a player this guy is. I think he was at Singleton last year. I don't have the list up from last year, but I think he might have been. But this guy's going to be one of the players of the season, I think, in the 19s. Definitely one to watch. It's very talented. Played the 23s. I think he came off the bench in first grade as well. I think he's only 17, 18. I don't know. Just a very good player. Singleton's best yesterday. It was 3-0 from a tap-in. McQuailey Johnson, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, I'm probably not. Johnson with the goal. 3-0 to Singleton, and West Wallsend getting the last goal of that game, making it 3-1. A goal to the number 3, and there's no number 3 on this team sheet, so good job, number 3. Very good. He'll know who it was. He'll know he scored. I'm not sure who it was. 3-0, let's move on. This has probably already gone over 20 minutes, who knows. First grade, big win for Singleton, 2-0. They dominated. I think they dominated. It was a pretty good performance for Singleton. I think one that shows that they got potential this year. West Wallsend may need a rethink. I spoke to the coach after the game. He doesn't think it's too... He thought it was a decent effort, but maybe some work in front of goals and sort of taking chances. They did only keep Singleton to a couple of chances, but the Singleton strikers did take those chances. That's the important thing. Robert Field scoring the first goal. Jackson Cox with some excellent build-up play, the captain there. What a game he had yesterday. What a player he is. I think he's going to be one of the better players this year in the whole division. 2-0 coming from Daniel Paluzzi. I really should. I've got to learn how to pronounce these names. 2-0 for the strikers. Jackson Cox played well, as I mentioned. And very, very impressed with the two imports, Dylan Trouter and Alex Clark, especially Alex Clark. What a player he's going to be. Technical player, and really I think he's going to be one of the better players in the competition. Singleton, this team, I'm looking at this team list, and this team is a very strong... Well, it's a young sort of squad. There's some young players in there, but there's some potential in this team. And a big moment at the end of the game was Stuart Plant getting injured, the goalkeeper. It was a shoulder injury. He came off. It didn't look good, but I'm hearing that it may not be as bad as originally thought. I had some people from Singleton's club that agreed with me that if Plant's out for long term at all, like that's a massive out. So the better news would be for him to be back sooner rather than later for the strikers. They're inspirational goalkeeper at the back. Communication, the very, very well-rounded goalkeeper there. We move on to today's games, and let me apologise right now because there's no team sheets. That's not really my fault, is it? But no team sheets, which means that there's a couple names missing, but we'll give it a go and we'll see how we go. First grade. We'll do first grade first. 10-3. I'll give you a moment to take that in. Toronto Awaba 3, Lambton Jaffers under 22s 10. This is not a good start for Toronto. Last year they played Morisset around the same. They will play them next week. They played Morisset last year, and I'm pretty sure they got 10 put past them in that game. The season didn't turn out too well. It is future building at Toronto. I'm just going to get this foot rest. Future building at Toronto. That's what I've been told. But look, 10 goals. You can't concede 10 goals in one game. This is coming from a guy whose indoor team lost 16-2. That's a different situation. But 10-3. Oh, what do you say? Well, I could go through the Lambton players. John Nicholson getting a hat-trick, Alex Palazzi getting one, several other goal scorers, Tim Stone for Toronto getting an own goal. It was a horror show for Toronto, and there was scrappy play. The luck wasn't there. It was real typical trial. It wasn't. It was a pretty not good game to watch. And I think I had someone say, look, these teams, Jaffers 22s, they're never going to play Toronto's first grade. It's a different competition. So earlier in the day you see Wallsend 19s versus Toronto 19s. It's a bit more competitive. They know each other. Sometimes these trials don't work out too well. There's no excuses for 10-3. It was a poor performance from Toronto and it needs to get better. Shout out to Hayden Jensen for his late goal right at the end. Best goal of the day. And there was 29 goals, so that's saying something. 23s, same story. Toronto 1, Lambton 19s 6. Scrappy affair for Toronto. That's being polite. Outclassed. That's all I can say. Jaffers dominated. They missed shots. They should have been up 5-0 at half time if they had the trajectory right. Sam McInerney scored. Bailey Williams scored. Lachlan Haynes scored. Didn't get the free others, but a very dominant performance from the Jaffers under-19s team, and they may show something in the 19s. Of course, I'm not going to be covering NPL as much as in UFN, but I will have an eye on it and probably be doing tips. And Jaffers might be one to watch. These guys were pretty legit team. The 19s, 4-0 Wallsend defeating Toronto. Fitness, it fell away for Toronto as the game went on. They were up against a very good Wallsend team. There's some under-17 semi-finalists from last year. Early penalty converted by the number 49, he'll know who he is. The 62 made it 2-0 not long after. The 53 scored their third, and the 62 got a second goal, which I had written down as, let's be honest, piss poor defending. Short corner from Wallsend, there's a guy unmarked inside the penalty box. Toronto's team, I don't know what they were doing there. They weren't defending, and it was a horrific goal to concede. 4-0 in the end. The infamous injury to Danny Herrivel. I'm a bit over this. Looked pretty bad when he went off, but yeah, spoken to his coach and heard from him himself. He should be back before you know it. Definitely a player that Wallsend's 19s can't afford to lose for too long. The centre back, last year's 17s captain, very good communicator, and the goalkeeper Merrick also played very well. 17s game. This was the second game of the day, but different schedule at Toronto. Cooks Hill 5 defeating Toronto 0. As someone who plays for Cooks Hill, I put that out there now. If people don't know that, I play for Cooks Hill, so I'll try to not be too biased, but this was a very, very technical display, and I had some one of the higher ups from Toronto, one of their committee guys actually said this was one of the best performances he's seen at an under-17s level in a while, and that's coming in a trial match. Michael Best's side just dominated. 5-0. Goals from Eli Collins scoring 2, Cameron Wamesley scoring 2, Toby Mellon scoring the other from the penalty spot. Eli Collins actually, I was sitting there during the 23s game, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm watching Cooks Hill leave and I'm thinking, wasn't Eli Collins a defender last time I saw him play? And yes, he was. And now he's up front. So versatile there. The second goal was very impressive, spinning around and just firing into the net. No remorse from Cooks Hill here, 5-0. And again, Toronto, there's work that needs to be done, first grade all the way down to 17s. The 17s team probably played the best football of the day, but this was not a good day for the Toronto Football Club, Toronto Wabba Football Club, and I don't want to sound too doomsday-ish because it is a pre-season trial, but I think most players and the coaches will agree that these performances today show that there's still improvement. You know, they may not finish, let's use first grade for example, 10-3. They may not finish last in UFM, but they're not going to get anywhere near the top 4 with performances like that. And that's serious. That's coming from a neutral point of view. That's coming from a serious point of view. I think Toronto will improve. I think it's early. Most of the players have only just got back together for the season, so we'll see how they go against Morisset next week. So we move on to next week, and Saturday. Saturday I'll be at Cooks Hill, Newcastle Athletics Field, Cooks Hill United versus Edgeworth Eagles FC. This is going to be a classic. Maybe not a classic. It's going to be a classic for a trial match. This is a huge, huge test next week for Cooks Hill United, a new look side against the champions of Northern New South Wales, Edgeworth. it could end 13-0. This is going to be an extremely tough test for Cooks Hill United. And you saw today with Toronto getting smashed by the Jaffas 22s. If that was Jaffas first grade, there's a big difference in NPL between 22s and first grade. In Edgeworth's first grade, they should and probably will have it all over Cooks Hill, but if Cooks Hill can somehow get a result out of this, then who knows what the possibilities could be this season. Full credit has to go to Blake Gleaney, the coach, Mark Trenner, the football manager. They've worked together, getting these pre-season trials together, and challenging a team like Edgeworth to a trial match. It takes balls, let's be honest. And Cahibra will be playing Edgeworth as well, I believe, in round 4 during a bye week. So it is possible, there's teams that go and challenge zone league teams. Cooks Hill yesterday beat the Newcastle Suns. It's a whole nother story to go and attempt to play Edgeworth. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a huge challenge for Cooks Hill, and what a win it would be if they can get it. And then Sunday I'm at Wallsend, the Gardens, Wallsend versus Maitland. I've got to confirm that that's still on, but I'm looking forward to that. Maitland, a very strong NPL team. Maybe not the strongest, but they've got some good players, Matt Thompson, and names don't come to mind at the moment, but Maitland's a strong team, and I think they'll match up against Wallsend very well. I think it's a test for the Red Devils, the defending champions. We'll see how they go in that trial match. Some other results from this weekend: Cahibra defeating Carnwell. I hope I'm saying that right. Central Coast team, Carnwell FC 0, Cahibra FC 5. Goal scorers. Let's find out who the goal scorers were. I've got it written down. A little bit unprepared tonight. Matt Lee scoring, Jez Turner, Jaden Demir, Sean Clerk and Daniel Bartlett. Very easy names to pronounce there. They were the goal scorers for the Green and Blacks. 13 goals in 2 games now for Cahibra. As I said last week, this team, I think they're going to make the 4. I can't see them not making the 4 at this rate. Very strong start to pre-season. Andre Gilbrecht will be very happy with the way things are going there. And, good to see guys like Jez Turner and Jaden Demir getting a run in first grade and scoring some goals. I feel like Turner especially has got a point to prove at Cahibra, coming from Charlestown, and scoring for first grade is going to help. I was talking to Jez today, good guy. Matt Lee scoring, Sean Clerk 6 goals in 2 games. Who would have thought that when they took the park last week? The next, a week later, he's got 6 goals in 2 games. How far can that go this year? Cahibra 4-1 over Carnwell Reserves in the 23s. The Cahibra 19s lost to Nelson Bay Zone League 1, which is, in my eyes, a bit of an upset. With no offence to Nelson Bay, I don't really know the team up there. But Cahibra 19's a very strong squad. Matt Hughes scoring a goal, still going down 3-1. Cahibra 17's lost to the Cahibra Zone League 3 team, which is actually a pretty decent Zone League 3 team, to be honest. Decent hit out for the 17s there against the Zone squad. Yesterday at the Newcastle Athletics Field, Cooks Hill 4 defeated the Newcastle Suns 1. With 10 men for the majority of the game. Matt Williams getting sent off for a stray elbow on Mal Hinchcliffe, I believe it was. A former Cooks Hill player, that's what I've been told anyway, you can correct me on that. I've been told they went up for a header and Matt Williams' elbow sort of here, and the Suns players sort of made collision there. I've been told it's accidental, but that was from Cooks Hill, so you never quite know. But Cooks Hill will be without Matt Williams for next week's trial against Edgeworth, and he is the striker this year, so it's a bit of a downer. But 23s won 4-1, 5-1, something like that. I'm not quite sure on that one. And Also, there was an NPL trial yesterday, Valentine and Magic, where I'm being told that Magic didn't take the field because there was no line markings. I don't know why I threw that in there. That's pretty crazy for an NPL level. Maybe Valentine didn't get the memo about the lines not being marked. I don't know. Two very good clubs there, Valentine and Broadmeadow. Looking forward to seeing how Valentine go this year actually in the NPL, now that we're on that topic. That's pretty much it for tonight. There's no interviews. Due to sort of time constraint, there's no interviews, you know. It's last week, I told a few people this today, last week going to West Wallsend at 9 in the morning, 17s, 19s, 23s, first grade, getting home at 6:30, putting the photos up, putting the review up, coming in here and recording the video at around 8 o'clock, had a quick shower and 8 or something like that, had some food for about half an hour, come back in, and I was still working on all of this at 1 o'clock the next morning. So that's what, 14 hours straight of New FM stuff. And for someone who has a TAFE course, diploma TAFE course on Monday mornings, it's a little bit hard to find the time to do some of this. But I'm trying my very best at the moment. Maybe not today. I only took 50 photos today, which is piss poor. I'm not going to show you the sunburn, but my legs at the moment feel like they're on fire. My advice, let's make this a weekly segment, weekly advice, wear sunscreen. There it is. If you see me at the game next week, just make sure that, you know, ask me, do I have sunscreen on? Just remind me, so I don't have to feel like this again, because this isn't good. So the best part of Cooks Hill's ground, Newcastle Athletics Field, the sun is behind the grandstand for the majority of the day. Good stuff, Cooks Hill. There's a shout out. Alright, we'll be back next Monday at 8:30, but it'll be uploaded earlier in the afternoon. Games from Cooks Hill and of course Wallsend. I'm looking forward to it. For the guys out at Cahaiba, 6-a-side, I'll see you on Tuesday night, and I'll see you again in the grand final. Any neutral people that are in the Cahaiba area, come down to Club Azuri next Sunday night for some 6-a-side grand final action featuring yours truly, Andre Gumprich, and a lot of other Cahaiba guys. Very thankful for Cahaiba letting me come out there for that competition, and yeah, looking forward to watching how they go this year. And last but not least, I believe there were some games at Bell Swans today and Lakes as well, so this is just the sort of thing to add on to the end of the video. If people have made it this far, I hope you have. I'm thankful if you did. It'd be helpful, very, very helpful if people can message through scores, goal scorers, all that sort of stuff from games that I'm not at. During the actual season, I want to try and get all the team sheets and get the cards, get the goals, all that sort of stuff, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think there were some games today. There's a referee conference, and yes, shout out to the referees at Toronto today. It wasn't the greatest refereeing performances ever, but someone's got to do it, and good to see their 19s coach and even their president out there on the field reffing the 17s game. There's some presidents in the New FM League that I don't know if they can get out there and referee a game these days, but some older guys, I may be wrong, I don't know how many old presidents there are, but good to see the Toronto committee getting out there and doing the hard yards for the club. Really enjoyed the day out there at Toronto. Good people. Not the biggest club in the league, but a really strong base, and good to see them with so many local juniors in their ranks. They certainly know how things work out there at Toronto. If you're from Toronto, you play for Toronto. You know, that's good to see, and I think there should be more of that. And it was also good to see Nick Cowburn get out there from the Jets the other day, also another Toronto junior. this club, I'm only sticking on this topic because I watched them play today. This club's a very historic club. Some big names have gone through there. They're not at their strongest point at the moment, so I'm hoping that 2016 can be big for Toronto. And hell, I hope that all 11 clubs push for finals. How good would it be to see a competition where on the final day of the season, any team can make finals? How good would that be? Tell me I'm dreaming, right? That'll do it for Newysports tonight. A quality weekend. Looking forward to next weekend, and then the weekend after that is the FFA Cup. 2 very long days out at Spears Point. Looking forward to coming out there though, catching up with the Zone League teams, seeing teams like Dudley take on Cooks Hill. It's good to see, and it's going to be an interesting weekend. And I think I'll be doing some tips on the FFA Cup, and right now I'll give you a spoiler. I'm going to be tipping at least one Zone League team to beat a New FM team. You might know who I mean, but we'll get into that in a couple of weeks. I'll see you next Monday at 8:30 or whenever it's uploaded. This has been Newysports TV, episode 5. I'm Ty Stedman. See you next time.